Hi everyone, it's David. Welcome to SoulFish. This is a channel for spiritual growth and personal development, and I am really glad you're here. I want to thank you for watching and subscribing and leaving your comments. It really means a lot to us, and we're growing this community and our knowledge base and how we practice. And it's all a big thanks to all of us, and working together, working on us helps not only us, but everyone and everything else. So what happens when you need to say goodbye? Now I'm talking goodbye to people or goodbye to things that no longer serve you, practices, habits, a perspective, a thought process. What does it mean to say goodbye? Why don't we start with things, practices, thoughts first? When you're reflecting on how you go forward, when you're met with a particular circumstance or event, and it really tweaks you, and you're trying to determine what your next best steps are, and you already know somehow inside you that the way you normally go about things, the way you would normally approach something doesn't resonate anymore, it doesn't really work for you anymore. And yet you're left with a bit of a void of what do you do next? Well, for many of us, very hard to change direction when you're still holding on to these kind of past thoughts, past actions, these habits that you normally would do. And so the first way to open yourself up, the first way to receive the right kind of answer is to make sure you're letting go of those thought processes. So the way to do it is to make sure you're doing it without guilt, without a feeling of remorse, without a feeling of negativity, in other words, or like in opposition to, kind of the F you approach. Well, that doesn't work for me, so I'm kind of angry about it, so now I'm going to look over here. Those kind of reactions also don't help you. So you don't want to add emotional charge to something you're trying to let go of. Now, people is a little different because, you're dealing with an active energy body. You're not trying to create more hurt. You're not trying to hurt anyone else's feelings. You're just saying, hey, toxic people aren't really good for me, and so I need to make some changes there. So again, I think the big way on saying goodbye there is making sure that you're not creating more negativity, that you're not building emotions in you that you come back to at certain times when you're in a depressed state, and you look to those people to kind of blame, point to, they're in that same kind of -2 vibe, so you kind of bring them into your picture when you're in that space. The proper way to say goodbye to anything is to dispel it. And most people, this is a challenge, it's a skill sometimes, but it's a challenge for many of us because, we don't want to make other people feel bad. We don't want to do things that create more hurt or pain in the world. We're really trying to fix that in ourselves, and then fixing that in ourselves, we make it better for everything and everyone around us, right? But to get to that space, it's so important to be able to say goodbye to people and things that are no longer in your space, that are no longer in your energy signature, right? As you grow and learn and develop, you change. And that is the constant here in the matter world, is change. And your ability to adapt and to make appropriate kind of redirect yourself is so important to feeling better, to changing your perspective, and to living in a different way. And so, your spiritual practice is not about what happens when you die. Your spiritual practice is about what are you doing while you're here, while you're alive? How are you learning? How are you adapting all that you've learned into a new way? How do you redirect yourself? How do you say goodbye to thoughts, feelings, patterns, people that are holding you back, or not in your energy signature, are not don't have the same perspective in terms of viewpoint that you do. I'm not talking politics, I'm talking about how you live. So your spiritual practice is about how are you applying the principles and belief system that you create for yourself in the real world, where you're genuine to you're genuine to who and what you are, you're authentic, you're honest, sincere, you're trying to come from a loving place, from an understanding place, right? And so in order to do that, you have to be able to say goodbye to thoughts that are no longer in alignment with your new direction. I know it's sometimes not fun, and I know it sometimes creates added stress. But the cool part is, once you work through it, once you're able to let go of some of these things without a lot of negativity, without a lot of negative baggage and emotional charge, it frees you. And remember, when you pour out some of your cup, you're leaving room to be filled with something else. But you can never fill it with something else and something new until you've dumped it out, until you've emptied it, until that container can't hold that and the new stuff. It's not in alignment. You want to be in alignment. This is about you building harmony with yourself and your environment, and using your spiritual practice to make your life here better. In improving you make everything else around you so much better. I hope that's helpful.